My philosophy is that once you walk through those doors, I want you to forget about what's outside of those doors. Have a great time, enjoy yourself as much as possible. And if I can help facilitate that by playing a song that you like, then I'll do it. But if it doesn't work out, I'll let you know.
Welcome to your weekly elevation, your dose of real strategies for real results in dance music. I'm Olivia, and today we're diving into a side of the DJ world that rarely gets discussed, and that is what it's like to be a resident at one of Miami's most notorious venues. Now, Mr. Gray has been a resident DJ at 11 for 11 years. Yes, that's 11 years at 11. Now, if you've never been there before, you should go. It's a unique hybrid, a strip club with the sound system, lighting, and energy of a high-end nightclub. It's a place where world-class DJs like Tiesto and Marshmello regularly perform, but with a completely different dynamic than your typical club. Now, what makes this conversation so valuable is that Mr. Gray offers a perspective most DJs never consider when it comes to DJing strip clubs, from how to read a room when there's multiple distractions, to the psychology behind handling requests, to what it takes to maintain a long-term residency. His insights apply to DJs in any setting. Plus, his story about starting a DJ meetup to rebuild in-person community is something I think we can all learn from. So let's dive in. Let's just jump right into it. How did you become a resident at one of Miami's most notorious venues?
So I was actually with an agency that was booking me at spots in Miami, and they happened to have availability at 11. They wanted to try me out because I had a very unique blend of hip hop and EDM. And at the time that, EDM was pretty big still. So they tried me out on a Thursday night, and like half an hour into my set, two of the owners of 11 came up to me and they're like, "Hey, do you want to be here every week?" I'm like, "Yes, I definitely do."
How long ago was that?
11 years.
11 years at 11.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, so you have seen a lot. For those that have never been there, what makes 11 different than other clubs? Let's start there. Other clubs.
Yeah, the main thing is that it is a strip club and a nightclub. So I DJ like it's a nightclub, but there are dancers there. So that's what sets it apart from everything else. And what it sets it apart from any other strip club is that it's got amazing sound, amazing lights. Everything about it is like a nightclub, except for the stage in the middle of the dance floor.
Right. Yeah, it really is something to experience. And you said you're in the middle of spring break right now, and then we have Music Week coming up. But I feel like is there a slow season? Maybe dead of summer? Or not really?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, usually January is kind of like January and February in general, like in South Florida, are usually the slower times. We do get a lot of tourists during that time, but they're usually like older tourists. They're not going out clubbing or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. So the locals stay home. So you shared the decks with some amazing people like Tiesto and Diplo. And I mean, there's so many. I can't even remember who I've seen at 11, but it's just on any given night you're going and there's amazing talent. What is that like? Because the setting is so different from a festival or elsewhere. What's it like sharing the decks with them?
Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes it's, it's whatever. But like the first couple times I opened up for Tiesto, like his tour manager just would set up his flash drive and get his first song ready. And then once my song was done, like Tiesto wouldn't even be in the building yet. So my song would finish and then his tour manager would hit play and then Tiesto would get walked in. So he just comes in, and it's a huge deal, you know. Tiesto's Tiesto. He's a legend. But a lot of the bigger guys, they do it like that. Even like I DJ'd with Shaq. I opened for Shaq, DJ Diesel, at the end of December, and his was kind of similar, but he's super cool. Like, he's probably one of the coolest, like, famous DJs that I've met. And even with, like, I've opened up for Marshmello, and he was the same. He just got ushered in, and once he was done, he left. And
Yeah.
I think in festivals it's a little bit different because it's a little bit more fun because you're playing for tens of thousands of people. At 11, I mean, our capacity is probably 1,000, 1,200, something like that.
Right. Yeah. And everything, I don't know. You're saying, like, when they get walked in, are they getting walked in through the crowd with, like, security, or is it kind of like this big to do moment?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're like, we have to set up like a pathway with security guards. There's like a back door, and it kind of goes straight to the DJ booth, but you still have to go through the crowd a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's much different than like a more underground house music club. It's just there's more to do. There's more like pomp and circumstance. And
Yeah.
I can't remember. I have not committed a single memory from 11 to my brain. Every time I've been there, it's been witching hours. So thanks for the refresher.
Yeah, no problem.
you DJ elsewhere too. How is DJing a strip club different?
The number one thing with DJing at 11 is that I don't really have to make sure that the people are dancing or that they're singing along to all the songs or whatever the case may be. Ultimately, I'm kind of like secondary to the dancers. You know, it's an unfortunate thing, but it's also something that a lot of DJs have a hard time with, you know. And I did at first, where, you know, it was like I was kind of like almost background music, but not really. You obviously have to play good music, and you have to, you know, do the right things at the right times and stuff like that. But when I play at any other nightclub, if I travel to nightclubs and I'm playing there, I'm the center of attention. So I have to make sure that I'm on point at all times.
Yeah. I can imagine you don't get into, I don't care what people say, you don't get into a DJ career in this day and age. You like the attention in some way, shape, or form. Okay. Like maybe back in the day when DJ booths were hidden in the corner and you couldn't even see them and it was all about the dance floor. But this day and age, like, you get into DJing because you like the other things that come with it. Just like I'm doing a video podcast and not an audio podcast because I like being on video. So I can imagine that that's like, you're literally, how do you compete with the beautiful women that are there? and because people can go hear good music elsewhere, it's the element of it being a strip club. So did that like hurt your ego in the beginning, or did it affect the way you prepped for your sets? Were you like, I'm not going to prep for this because nobody cares, or what was that like?
No, I always felt that it was, you know, a really big deal for me. So I prepped heavily always. And one thing about me is I don't really have an ego. I DJ because I love music. I started DJing 27 years ago. So I started DJing off records when the DJ booths were in the corner. But, you know, I started DJing because I went to like underground raves, and the DJs were the center of attention, but it was more geared towards the talent of the DJ and the music that they were playing. But at that time, you could get away with playing brand new music because it wasn't so easily accessible to everybody. Now it's hard to like play anything brand new. Most of the time, I'm getting requests for brand new music that I didn't even know about.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much music that's being put out every single day. It's like, it's hard to keep up. I don't have enough time to keep up with all the music.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you get requests? People request music from you at 11?
Yes, they do.
And you tell them to fuck off?
No. I'm actually very nice when it comes to that. for the most part, until you
Good.
become annoying. Like
Yeah.
if you ask for a request and then 2 minutes later shrug your shoulders and put your hands up like, where's my song? I'm like, yeah, that's not going to help your song get played.
Yeah.
And I'm usually pretty honest with people. If it doesn't fit what I'm doing, I'm not going to play it. And I'll tell them, I'm like, look, that doesn't really fit what I'm doing.
That's fair. That's fair. Because I've always thought it's crazy. Like, we don't go up to, you know, a guy laying bricks and being like, hey, you should lay this brick over here. Like, it's just like a crazy thing, because it just shows almost like a level of disrespect for the craft. And I don't think a lot of people do it intentionally necessarily. They don't understand the thought and the preparation that goes into something like DJing. But no, that's nice that you can handle it with grace, because it's got to be irritating to be interrupted in the middle of your literal job.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it as, you know, I'm not going to know what every single person wants to hear. And ultimately, I want everybody to have the best possible experience. So if I can help somebody have a good experience by playing a song that they like, then I'm going to do that.
So how do you read a room when there are so many other distractions? Because you go to a like Spy Bar is my best example in Chicago. I don't know if you've been here to Chicago, but you know, it truly is a place that's like it's just like a basement with music. And so there's hardly any other distractions. But at a place like 11, you have the women, you have the bottles, like there's so many other things. So how do you learn how to read a room and then control it?
For 11 specifically, there's not really much of reading a room. I have it down to a science. It took me a little while to really understand how the night goes and what most people are going to like. So as DJs, we basically just stereotype people regularly, because that's what we have to do. We have to look at what you're wearing, what you look like, you know, and then kind of base what we play off of that. And then if we see that your head's nodding, you're dancing, you're singing along, then we continue with that, you know, that style of music.
Okay.
Otherwise, we got to switch it up.
I'm nervous. What if you saw me? What would you play? What would you assume?
I don't know. Honestly, you look Latin, so, and I don't think you are. You're Italian, aren't you?
I'm Sicilian, but that's fine, because I do like Latin music. So
see, so I would probably play I'd probably play Bad Bunny or Fade or something like that.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm a little like, I'll accept that. I'm glad you didn't say Taylor Swift, but I am a house head, so but Bad Bunny's close enough. Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, I guess, yeah, you do. We all make assumptions about people, and it's in their best interest, right? You want to make them happy and have a good night. So if you have a, you know, group of like people who are coming in like tatted with like gauges, yeah, you're not going to probably play Taylor Swift.
Yeah, definitely not.
Wow.
But still, like you really don't know. Like, you don't know. If you looked at me, I look like just a regular old white guy, and my music knowledge is extremely vast. And I truly love listening to drum and bass. Okay. Yeah. So you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. Can you get away with drum and bass at 11?
A couple people have. Deadmau5 was, I think, the first one to get away with that one.
There you go.
But, you know, those big guys can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
You know, they just go in there and they play whatever they want because they're them. And I can't really do that. Like, as much as I love to play drum and bass, I've never played one drum and bass record there.
Huh. Well, never say never.
I know. Maybe this
you'll
week
have
I will.
Your time. Maybe you can, maybe you can test it out. So what were you doing when you did like that test set at 11 years ago? Were you DJing elsewhere?
Yeah, at the time I think I was playing at like Hyde Beach and I think a place called Louis that's not around anymore. But yeah, wow, that was a long time ago. But yeah, I was playing at those places and some places up in West Palm Beach, which is about an hour north of Miami, which is actually technically where I live. I live in West Palm Beach.
Nice. I hear it's nice.
I love it up here. It's quiet. So
yeah, that's. I have a friend that works. She's a meteorologist in West Palm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and she loves it there.
Yeah, it's way different than Miami. So
yeah. So did you have any concerns about your career being associated with a strip club when you got that offer?
not at all, actually, because 11 wasn't yet known as a strip club. Most people still did not know it was a strip club. And it took quite a few years for it to really get the word spread. But they did such a fantastic job with branding and making sure that it was not branded as a nightclub, but as an ultra club and branded as something that's just different.
Yeah. I would say when I lived in Naples, I was a news reporter out there.
Love it out there.
What did you say?
I love it over there.
Do
Naples
you really?
I like quiet.
It's quiet, but the infrastructure was not built for like all the people that are moving there year round now.
Yeah.
And so the traffic's insane. Like, and I know traffic's bad in Miami too, but like my issue with Naples, my bone to pick, because my in-laws still live there, is that all the communities are gated, which creates gridlock because there's no thoroughways. You can't cut through neighborhood. There's no side streets because everything is gated. Anyway, so I lived in Naples. Any chance I get to gripe about Naples, but it is beautiful. It's beautiful. I lived there, but I spent, every weekend in Miami. So I'd go report the 11 o'clock news on a Friday, and then I would drive out to Miami. And I didn't know about 11 and this was in 2016 to 18. So I didn't know about 11 until I moved out there. But I would say that everybody who's in like the house music scene or like just like EDM, whatever you want to call it, they know about 11 now.
Yeah, they've definitely done a great job with putting themselves out there, and they win awards for best nightclub, not best strip club, best nightclub, because that's what they want it to be like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm ignorant on this subject because I think I've said this before on the show. I've never been to Vegas and never plan on it. It just doesn't seem I don't know. It doesn't really interest me. Are there places like 11 in Vegas or elsewhere, or is it really one of one?
It is a one of one. There's been clubs that do nights like 11, and I've DJ'd at a bunch of strip clubs because of 11 and them trying to get that same feeling as 11, but it's not the same.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I was going to ask, like, what separates it from other strip clubs that are trying to blend dance music, DJ sets, and the strip club elements? What makes 11 better?
I think that the first thing is the location of it. The second thing would be the owners and the management and everything from upper to lower. It's a very, very good blend of people that have worked in the Vegas nightclub industry and people that have worked in the strip club industry for many, many years. And it's very hard to find that. Dennis DeGore, who's the creator of it, he definitely did a very, very good job of, just gathering up the best of the best and bringing them to Miami and setting up one of the coolest things that I've seen. It's pretty awesome.
I'm sure you have just a Rolodex of crazy stories from patrons not acting right and being thrown out. Is there anything that you can tell me on the show, anything that really stands out to you as a either good or bad crazy moment that happened at 11 that you'll never forget?
I'd have to say, like, when Fisher played there for the first time, he went on stage and climbed up the pole. That he's such a wild person.
That's amazing.
Every Australian that I've DJ'd with is a very wild person. Like the Stafford brothers, amazing guys, just crazy. They just have so much fun. I love it. I love all their energy is just unbelievable.
And it's like you literally had to be there because it's not like that's being recorded and brought. I'm assuming there's no video of that exists.
You're not supposed to record, but people record. And a lot of times, the video gets shut down. Like if a security guard sees you recording, they're going to grab your phone or tell you to delete it. They'll stand there while you delete it.
That's got to be such a hard job doing security at 11.
Yeah.
Because you have people from all over the world coming. It's not just like the locals who know what to do, know the drill. Like you literally have first timers, and it's too much stimulation all at once. And I can't even imagine. I'm sure you get into it too, just being a defender of the brand. Like you've been with them for 11 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't really, like, every once in a while I'll have to tell somebody to not record or whatever, but I try to stay out of that. My place is a music selector, so I try to stick to that.
And I noticed, like, when you get content, obviously you have your phone or camera very strategically placed just on you.
Correct. Yeah.
And was that hard to like get approved, or how did you figure out your cadence with getting content there?
So I know what I have to do to make sure that the content is exactly what needs to be put out. The number one thing is you can't put out content showing the dancers. So most of my content has 0 dancers, and that's why it's pointed towards me. Every once in a while, you'll like see one walk behind me or something like that, but they just don't want you taking video of them on stages and stuff like that. Like even when I bring videographers and photographers, it's the number one thing. You just can't get video, can't get pictures of the dancers.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is super important. I know that there will be, my audience is primarily other artists who are looking to, level up their careers, break into the scene. Walk them through what a typical night looks like working at 11, if that is somehow different from any other gig you've DJ'd.
Specifically, like as a guest DJ. So every once in a while, I'm a guest DJ. That's what I started off as, just a guest resident DJ. So it's about a 3-hour time slot. So it's pretty easy. Now I'm actually like a full-time resident where I'm there 12 hours.
12?
Yeah. I'm there.
Is that where you were last night?
No.
I was going to say, and you did this podcast, you're an angel. That would be crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm there tomorrow and Thursday. So
12? Okay. So what does hour 1 look like?
So hour 1 is basically, there's like nobody there for the most part. You'll have some people at the bar or whatever, but when I get there, I just set up everything, and honestly, I put a mix on, and I do other stuff that I need to do around the club. And then once people start showing up, I start DJing. It's a true open format. So I start off, with like some R&B and a little bit of reggaeton and some like, house music like Joel Corey, Head and Heart, like poppy house type stuff, and some top 40 stuff. And then I'll just fluctuate throughout the night like that. And then as the more people come in, I increase the energy and keep increasing it. And I try not to, dip into too many huge hits or anything, because I don't want to mess it up for the headliner. You know what I'm saying? Most of the headliners that I DJ with, I know what they're going to play. So I try to stay away from what I figure they're going to play.
Okay. So what time do you get there? I didn't ask that.
9 p.m.
9 p.m. So you're there from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m.
Correct. Yes.
The fuck? So the headliner goes on at what time?
2 o'clock.
2. And you're still there?
Yes. Correct.
Do you close?
Yep. Yeah.
Fuck. Oh my God. How many days a week do you work?
Well, I'm there every Thursday, and then I'm there every third Wednesday.
Okay. Wow. That is crazy. So I don't really know if there's any other scenario in which at other clubs, which a DJ would be there for that long.
Yeah, there's not really a space, and that's like, sure, that's a big thing. Like I think Gordo did a really long set over the weekend.
Yeah,
I actually DJ with them at 11 in a couple weeks for Miami Music Week.
I think, like I said, I can't remember, but I think the first time I was there, Gordo was there.
Okay.
I think.
Was he there as Carnage or Gordo?
I think he was there as Carnage because this was like 2016.
Okay.
So who knows? Maybe you were there too.
It's very possible.
I'm sure you were. Wow, 12 hours. I can't even, and I know like there's a lot like Marco Carolla, even Gene Ferris here from Chicago. Like I watched Gene Ferris DJ for like 9 hours on Groove Cruise. And I was just like he didn't get off the decks. I'm like, when did you pee? You know, like that's like always what goes through my mind. It is really such and then that's like going back to people who make requests. And again, like you have a very kind approach to it, but it's like, if I was doing a job for 12 hours, especially at those late hours, and somebody came and made a request, I don't think I could mentally, like that would be the straw that broke the camel's back for me.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, it gets to me, but not normally. I'm generally a very kind person. And, like I said, I want everybody to have a great time. My philosophy is that once you walk through those doors, I want you to forget about what's outside of those doors. Come in, have a great time, enjoy yourself as much as possible. And if I can help facilitate that by playing a song that you like, then I'll do it. But if it doesn't work out, then I'll let you know.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think kind of what we're talking about here, and something I've been preaching a lot on social media lately, is like the soft skills that you need to have just to succeed in life. The, personality traits and the ability to handle different personalities is so important. And I can imagine that in addition to your skill as a DJ, that your demeanor probably played a role in working there for so long, because they can't have a DJ who's going to like fly off the handle or, have bad interactions with guests.
Yeah. I mean, life's short. You might as well be happy all the time, and I try to keep negative thoughts out of my head, and I try to keep myself surrounded by positivity as much as possible. And I try to exude that. And, when you portray that and you put that out there, then, people around you are going to feel that, and it's going to make them have a better time. And, I try to smile as much as possible because, smiling is contagious, and I want everybody to smile. I want everybody to be happy.
Yeah. And I think it can be an intimidating environment for people who are maybe going there the first time. So I think that that's really important too, for people who don't really know what they're getting themselves into. And it's just being just this larger than life experience. I think that's great that that's how you're setting the tone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I try to do that in all walks of life, everything I do.
I love that. So for the DJs listening who have the goal of being able to DJ at 11 or somewhere like 11, either as a resident or a guest DJ, what is your advice? How should they be moving differently? Because I'm assuming there's a slightly different strategy here than, trying to get booked at a festival. What's your advice to them?
The advice I give pretty much any DJ that, wants to DJ at 11, or really any venue that they want to DJ at, is to go to that venue. If you're a local DJ, go to whatever venue you want to play at and meet everybody you possibly can. The most of this industry is about who you know. And then you have to have a good product to back that up, and if you're out of town, the best way to start doing it is to contact somebody like me, and I'll try. I've tried, and, it's hard. The guy that books all the DJs, he lives in Vegas. He's never here, which is very unfortunate. But, we have a good core group of resident DJs and guest DJs that we bring in, and there is always room for new talent. And I look for new talent in general. Like, I started a DJ meetup a couple months ago, and basically it's to help DJs get more gigs or get better gigs, or
love that.
Just get better as DJs.
Yeah.
Because
So tell me about that. What inspired you to start that?
I was able to book some DJs for a night at 11. And since I live in West Palm and was a resident DJ up here for a while, I know a lot of West Palm Beach DJs. So I booked one DJ from West Palm Beach and one DJ from Miami. And each DJ brought DJ friends. And we all were just hanging out, having a good time, listening to good music, enjoying ourselves. And it kind of made me think about when I used to go to record stores and buy records, and I would spend hours at record stores listening to new music, listening to the DJ that was playing in the corner, talking to other DJs. And we've lost that. I think the community, like the DJ community, is kind of just online now, and I like person to person experience. I want to talk to other DJs about DJing, and I want to get better. I'm never 100% satisfied with where I'm at. I always think I can get better, and I've been that person that was comfortable, that was 2-3 years doing the same thing over and over, and I vowed, after I realized that I was stuck, I'm like, that's never going to be me ever again.
Yeah.
So I want people to not be stuck, not be comfortable. I want you to think outside the box. I want you to listen to other DJs and get ideas and get inspired, because I love all music, and I love DJing, and I enjoy watching people have a great time. And like I said earlier, kind of, set their real life aside just for a couple hours and come in and have a great time with me.
Wow, that's amazing. I am in full agreement that it is so much harder to build community online. It's a great tool to stay connected, but the in-person connection is so much more valuable. And I'm a big proponent of that. I feel like Florida didn't really, but the rest of the world during COVID kind of lost the desire. Everything is still, I was meeting with one of my clients yesterday, and he was telling me how his board still meets virtually. And this is like the board of a bank. And I'm like multi-million dollar bank. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy that I don't know. I would assume that people like that would want to be back together in a room, but I think we've all gotten so used to being in our houses, being comfortable. Like, I'm going to admit I have sweatpants on right now, because you can, and people have gotten used to that. And so it is what it is. But yeah, something like DJing is the foundation, is human connection. And so it's really important to meet with others in person. Are you doing another one of those anytime soon that we can promote on the episode?
Yeah, it's once a month. We have it at Fat Cats in Fort Lauderdale, which is just like a hole in the wall bar, but they allow me to, do whatever I want there. And it's not like I don't get on the mic, and it's not like some kind of seminar or anything like that. I book DJs that are up and coming DJs, or DJs that want to get heard by their peers, and I give them an hour, and they come in and they play their hour, and I don't care what they play. I just want them to play what they really truly enjoy playing. I want to see them having fun up there. I don't want them to think about, oh, what does he want me to play? What does the manager want me to play? If you want to play old school hip hop, play old school hip hop. If you want to play drum and bass, play drum and bass. If you want to play deep house, play deep house, but I want you to play what you want to play, because then you're going to give it 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. So you post about it on Instagram then? That's where I can point people.
Correct. Yeah. I'll be posting up. I'm making a video in the next couple days about the next one, which is March 31st. It's always on a Monday, because most of us aren't booked on Mondays.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, this has been really insightful, and I really appreciate you taking the time after, I'm assuming, what was a long night and daylight savings time to chat with me.
Yeah. I DJ at a place called Backyard in Fort Lauderdale, which I think we had probably 2,000 kids there for spring break. And it was like 5 hours straight of just just high energy stuff. So it's exhausting.
Yeah, but all worth it, right?
Oh my gosh. So much fun.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it. That's your weekly elevation. Now, what strikes me most about Mr. Gray's approach is his genuine focus on creating a great experience for everyone in the room. Now, despite being in an environment where he's definitely not the center of attention, the dancers are, he's maintained his passion for music and connection for over a decade. And my God, isn't he just such a nice guy? He was so sweet, and it was just amazing talking to him, and everyone I bring on this show is amazing, but his calm demeanor, especially after working those super long 12-hour shifts, is just really, he's a really cool guy. Now, his perspective on building community through in-person DJ meetups is also particularly relevant today in an increasingly online world. I always tell you guys to go outside. So if you're not listening to me, listen to him, because it's working. You know, sometimes the most valuable conversations and connections happen when we step away from our screens and we share our love for music face to face. Remember, guys, success in dance music isn't about luck. It's about strategy. I'll talk to you next week.